You know, it's so sad, nowadays, many young Westerner and many famous YouTuber anchor don't support, Western idea, freedom, and they support, many radical Islamic regime or organization. Yeah, they spread, conspiracy about the you, and they spread many, pro propaganda about the Western society. Society, had the good side and the bad side too. In you were born and grew up in, Western society or secular country, they don't want to live, in the Islamic law. Yeah, there, there are nothing wrong, for the people to live, under Islamic law. But it should be, the personal choice, not, obligation, not compulsory. Religion, is just like the personal choice, personal spirit. People, all over the world should have the same right, You can practice what religion you want. You can convert or don't practice any religion you want. You can wear or don't wear any clothes you want, as long as you are not naked or famous YouTuber like Tucker, Canden ON, and other YouTuber, they spread the anti-Semite, they spread, about the propaganda, anti-Western propaganda. It's no good. You guys live in, Western society. Yeah. You guys never live under Islamic country. You guys don't experience just as beta, who the author of the book, not without my daughter. Anyone can go to Google and can know, under Islamic law, the Muslim cannot convert to other religion. Gay, lesbian may be put in jail or even killed. You mock or tease, their profit, you may be get burned or killed. Celebrity or YouTuber that support, radical Islamic regime, they should go to live there just few months. The right of the Western society and the right of the Islamic country. Do the research before support, any side.
Don't have this kind of culture. People are so individualistic. They are so lonely in Western countries. They don't have this kind of culture where you bring random people into your house and start sharing food with them. You don't see that in Sweden. You don't see that in Germany. If you go and knock someone's door in Germany, one of your neighbors, no, not call police. I mean, that may be an extreme example. Okay, but they will say, oh, what are you doing here? What can I do? How can I help you? It's like a surprise for them. But in a Muslim land, in Muslim country, if a neighbor knocks your door, okay, it's a source of blessing. We the Muslims, we are taught that when a neighbor comes to you, it's a source of blessing. It's not something something to be scared of, right? So we have this culture. So Western media is taking advantage of Western ignorance. Western masses, they've never, in fact, even during the Middle Ages, during the time of the Crusades, okay, one of the Muslim authors, his name was Osama ibn Munqidh, and he was an eyewitness of the Crusades. He himself participated in them. He was a knight, and he was a poet, and he was a man of literature. He wrote many books. One of them was titled Kitabul I'tabar, a book of lessons. In that book he states that those crusaders who come from the West and they have not known the Muslims, they're very harsh, very brute, very rude, and very repulsive. But those crusaders who came earlier, they have spent years with Muslims. They have been immersed into our culture. They are more polite. They're more friendly. Yeah, no problem. They're more friendly. Okay, so this shows you an example that anyone who spends time with Muslims, okay, will realize that after all, culturally speaking, these are very nice people. They're very hospitable. They're very kind and compassionate, right? They will help you if you are in trouble. But that we cannot say about Israel. Now coming back to you.
Okay, so Israel.
That we cannot say about the...
If we're going to do Israel, let me set up my camera, because I
I can ask a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever consider doing dawah in former Eastern Bloc countries?
Eastern European countries. We have considered.
Because there's one ulama.
There's a lot of racism there. There's a lot of xenophobia, and this racism and xenophobia has been translated into Islamophobia now. So those who are racist and xenophobic are now venting their anger and their frustration on Muslims. Muslims now have become the easy target. Muslims are the Jews of the day. Muslims are the Negroes of the day, unfortunately too. I'm sorry to use this term. I'm using it in an academic sense.
It depends where you are.
Huh?
It depends where you are.
Poland is Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, yes.
Yeah,
Poland
yeah.
is more of a problem with what's it called, with brown Muslims as opposed to white Muslims. Because I know someone who's there who's Turkic from Russia, and she's had a fairly good time.
But there is Islamophobia.
Yeah, of course.
There is
It's
Islamophobia.
It's more linked to ethnicity rather than anything else.
Yeah.
There's one scholar, I can't remember his name, who said the biggest missed dawah opportunity of all time was the collapse of the Soviet Union. Because, these people have been raised with,
But they wouldn't. Russian intelligence, KGB, wouldn't allow the Muslims to just walk in and start doing that if they were having a war in Chechnya. Chechnya was on fire, so they had to propagate against Islam. They had to do propaganda against Muslims. Even Putin, if you pick up some of his old speeches, he's talking directly against Islamic rituals. Even the concept of circumcision. Putin is actually mocking circumcision, something that saves lives. Amazingly, circumcision is directly relevant to saving lives today. It saves us from many diseases, especially when in this day and age, STDs are all over the place. People are transmitting and contracting.
Yeah, I'm pro-circumcision.
Sexually, yeah, and circumcision protects against STDs.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, of all types, right? And amazingly now, for some reason, it stands as an evidence for Islam. Why would God command men to remove your foreskin? Why? And that's centuries ago. Today, in the Western world, circumcision is not in fashion. It's not common.
Yeah.
Very few people do it, right? The Jewish people will do it. The Muslims will do it. Christians don't do it because Paul came and told them, don't circumcise. Just go easy on STDs, right? This is what the consequence is, right? Now, one of the reasons HIV spreads 50% faster in Africa in particular is because of circumcision. They're not circumcised. So the African governments are now paying their citizens to circumcise. Okay, Joseph is getting his weapons ready. Yeah, It's getting.
You don't see a microphone as a weapon, do you?
Yeah, these are
Chill
modern.
with a microphone
These are
as a
modern weapons. This is one of the. You know,
tell
this
you what,
weapon is more dangerous than.
I've got 3 of them pointed at me. I just got one.
There is no antagonism here. Three friendly cameras pointing at you. Now this one, we don't know if this one is. We don't know if this one is a friendly one.
I put the full debates up and I put the 1 minute debates up for the shorts. And
Okay.
I'm sure you understand what a short is.
Yeah.
What are the power of them.
So the point I'm making is that Muslim people, generally speaking, when you go and live with them, spend time with them, you'll come to realize that these people are not what the Western media and Western politicians and Western prostitutes are telling them. Have you heard of the term prostitute? Prostitute is basically a press person who is hired to spew hatred on Muslims. So we call them prostitutes. Okay, it rings a bell. It's very similar to another word.
What word is that?
Prostitutes.
What are they?
You don't know? Okay, let me teach you some English then. Let me teach you some English then. Today there will be a lesson on the English language.
He was calling it a weapon though, so maybe it was.
So Joseph, you're getting your camera ready.
Only
I'm getting nervous now, and facing directly at me, and I'm thinking what's going to come my way now.
No, you said about Israel. I thought we were talking about Israel.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, before you get into a big debate about,
Yeah.
so you would say even if the foundations of Judaism were proven to be false, you would still be Jewish.
So
Yeah, ethnically, yes.
No,
Well,
but I'm
ethnically,
saying-
obviously.
I'm saying I don't believe they would be proven, and I think Judaism has the flexibility to evolve with the times. And I gave the example of
the account I
Maimonides.
suggested on
Okay, I'll
Twitter,
Abu
because
Israel.
he gives a lot of evidence that rabbis have conceded the Torah has been corrupted, it
Yeah.
can be abrogated, hadith have been
It's
copied.
the opposite, Baltos. If you can't add to the Torah, you can't. You have to
Okay,
make it.
okay.
But there
So
is
you're Muslim who's telling you this is misrepresenting.
no, there is
Judaism.
physical evidence.
But
He
you know,
cites
it's a different
rabbis.
thing. It's a different, he's saying that Jewish rabbis believe the Torah has been corrupted,
Yeah.
and that's wrong. And if you've got a Muslim account that's telling you this is what Judaism.
No, but he
teaches,
cites rabbis.
He maybe I can misrepresent the Quran. I can say that Islam teaches Muslims to strike the neck of the
The
disbelievers.
Torah, the
but
Jewish.
he's not like-
No, the Jewish scriptures themselves tell the Jewish people that the scriptures have been
I know
corrupted.
enough about that to comment.
No, there is a direct verse in Jeremiah, in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, and Jeremiah in chapter 8, verse 8 is specifically talking about the scribes of the law. They have corrupted the book. I don't know what Joseph has to say on that. Okay, so the book itself is like the Quran. We believe in the Quran, and there would be a verse in the Quran saying Quran has been corrupted. Okay, this Quran you guys are reading is corrupted. To the contrary, the Quran tells us this book will never be corrupted. It will be protected. God will protect it himself because it is meant to be for eternity. It will last until the day of judgment. And the Quran to this day stands the test of time. It hasn't been corrupted. On the other hand, we have plenty of evidence on the Torah and the rest of the books of the Jewish scripture. They have been corrupted. They've been changed beyond recognition, right? I don't know what Joseph thinks of this. And
No, wait, could I finish? Because I need to go now.
and I wonder what Joseph thinks of those prophecies about an Arabian prophet. Okay, being a Jew, I believe Joseph obviously has read those passages. And if those passages...
And also, one interesting thing is the historian Bernard Lewis concedes that Jewish theology copies a lot from Islamic theology.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, it's a Zionist saying that.
No, the language. Hebrew language in its current form
Oh, yeah, it's very cool.
uses the classical Arabic language to explain many things. Yes,
No, like what? I don't know this. So I'm asking like what.
you don't know this.
Reread the Jews of Islam. It talks about this.
So you're talking modern Hebrew.
I'm talking medieval Hebrew.
So medieval Hebrew.
The Jewish rabbis in Spain used the Arabic language to decipher many terms they could not explain in the Hebrew language.
Rashi does the same and he uses French because he was based in
No
France.
problem. No
Yeah, I'm
problem.
just saying Jews who are
So
living
I
in
no
the
problem. I have no problem with that. I'm saying